I am not a historian, but neither are you. So, how about we the people learn this stuff together? Welcome to US 101. And I hope all of you signed your permission slips because we're going on a field trip today. Last week, not gonna lie to you, man, it was a good week for me and for US 101 because if you guys follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, all the links down below in the description box, by the way, you'll know that I was fortunate enough, blessed enough, lucky enough to be invited to a matinee performance of Hamilton right here in Chicago. And the reason for this invite was due to the Hamilton Education Program. And it's actually a pretty cool program, man. It's a program that allows students to, you know what? I got a much better idea. Instead of me telling you about this and boring you with all the details, why not just show you? I took a camera with me. So why don't you go ahead and grab your jackets because we are heading out of the studio and into the streets. Why did I pick today? It is cold outside. What is wrong with me? Guys, I'm standing outside of the Private Bank Theater here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm actually about to head inside and check out the matinee performance of Hamilton, the show you guys all know, the show you guys all love. But there's a special reason why we're here, and that's due primarily to the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, which is based out of New York City.
This is a collaboration among the Hamilton producers, the Miranda family, the Rockefeller Foundation, and the Gilder Lehrman Institute. And it's intended to bring students who wouldn't have access to the theater, but to give them access to learning more about American history and developing their passion for the study of American history.
All right, listen, everybody. Welcome to EduHam. My name is Miguel Cervantes, and I play Alexander Hamilton.
The Hamilton Education Program, hashtag EduHam, gives students from Title I schools a chance to dive deeper into American history by looking at primary sources, aka original material, from Alexander Hamilton and the American Revolution to see a side of history they might not normally get in the classroom.
There's a set curriculum that the teachers take their students through. It can run from anywhere from 5 academic days to 2 weeks. At the end of the curriculum, each student is asked to create his or her own performance piece based on a primary source document. And then each school decides which is the best piece. They submit it to the Gilder Lehrman Institute, which selects a smaller number of student pieces, and those students are asked to perform their work here on the day of the matinee.
That's right, guys. Before the show, I got to watch students from multiple Chicago schools get a chance to perform everything from hip-hop to spoken word on the Hamilton stage. And all of their pieces were based on American history that they had researched.
I performed Common Sense. That's what it's called, and that was based off of Common Sense by Thomas Paine, and I put in some lyrics from the songs from Hamilton. My name's Thomas Paine. Got a word or a few to say, tired of your tyranny. I had read that Washington made the soldiers read it to get inspiration on why we want freedom, why we don't need tyranny, and that's why I took it, because I was like, I want to also be Thomas Paine and tell people we're tired of tyranny too.
We're actually teaching the crowd and other people new things that they already didn't know, such as they say it was 5 victims in the Boston Massacre, but it was actually 6.
Kings weren't taking money from the colonists because we big and better. Big and better. Big and better. Violent tactics against colonists only makes them matter. Makes them matter.
It's like when we all studied it like a while ago, we never knew that it was really 6 people. Then we really looked back at it, and then we learned that Christopher Monk was the last person. Oh, yeah, Christopher Monk was the one that survived, right? Yeah, he was the one that survived.
When we wrote the piece, we decided to we were gonna do something that involved what caused them to go into a duel, and why did Burr and Hamilton have this just hate for each other, and so we wrote the skit as to what we thought probably happened and what led on into the duel.
Mr. Burr, aren't you being a little bit unreasonable? No. You know what? I accept your duel. I'll teach you to steal and publish documents you don't own.
Fine. Meet me in the Weehawk in 3 days' time at 1200 hours.
Fine, I'll be there.
I am actually really interested in history because I was always taught if you don't know your history, you're born to repeat it. So I've always learned a lot of things, but as much as Alexander Hamilton goes, like I haven't known much, but after researching and finding out from this like, you know, corporation and stuff, I was able to figure out.
Yeah, I wasn't really a history person, but now I like it now.
Any student that's involved in the program is incredibly excited about the curriculum and about the use of primary source documents in their studies, and want to further their knowledge of American history because they are so excited with this curriculum that they say, what else is out there?
But it's not just students that get excited about U.S. history. The cast members of Hamilton also expressed interest in the subject during a Q&A following the student performances.
You sort of see that they were real people dealing with real problems, having crazy struggles, you know, personal struggles with their family and all of these things that are happening around them while they're building a country, while they're fighting a war. They're also dealing with, you know, real life. As you read and as you sort of remember history, and then, you know, all of our country just happened. They wrote the Constitution about it being we're good. There was also real people dealing with real lives, and, you know, that's what this show really does for me. It makes them real people, and they're not just a figure, a historical figure.
I needed to know, how did we get here? Like, how did we get to where our nation currently is? And the fact of the matter is, there's just not enough time in high school to get all that. Like, you take a couple history courses, you're not gonna have time to really learn and figure out how we got here. And when you look back, it's like the same stuff we were dealing with then, we're still dealing with to this day. And we can't, to my theory or whatever, can't really progress unless you know where you came from. So for me, it became important to do that research at a deeper level, and then connect with these guys. Like, man, Hamilton was a deep dude. George Washington, while I have an issue with the slavery situation, was a deep dude. You know what I mean? And did a lot of stuff, man. And you start to see yourself reflected in some of these men and women. You start to see yourself reflected in these people, and it encourages you moving forward that, well, if Hamilton can be the founder of the New York Post and the Coast Guard and all that, and if Washington can win these wars and all that, surely I can act on stage, you know? So I've done it that way.
And let's remember, at the end of all this, the students get to see Hamilton for $10. So, what'd they think of the show?
It was pretty awesome. I liked it. Yeah. It's mostly the way the sound effects and their choreography was made and planned.
I really like the lighting, to be honest. Yeah, the lighting, I love everything.
I actually liked it. It was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. Because at first I thought it was a play, and I thought it was going to be all like, you know, basic classical singing, but it was actually kind of lit though. They had different music than I expected, and I liked it.
I loved it. People take history for granted, even though it's something that led us to where we are now. Without history, we wouldn't be here.
Oh my God, guys, I can't even tell you how awesome that show was. It was amazing. The stage presence was, but why am I even telling you this outside? I could be inside telling you this. I'm going back to the studio. Meet me over there. So what did we learn from all this? First of all, if you want to get the chance to go see Hamilton for free, I highly recommend you start your own American history web series. But more importantly, far more importantly, it's amazing programs like this that allow and encourage students to dive into history via other outlets like the arts that make for a much more vibrant learning environment. And what's even better is that this program is reaching out to students that normally would never get an opportunity like this. So let's see, this program encourages education, it gives kids a chance to express what they learned about via a creative outlet, and it offers them an opportunity to see one of the most celebrated pop culture phenomenons of all time in person and for a fraction of the cost. I'm thinking that this kind of learning should be promoted even more, man. Hey, do me a favor. Do you want to get Trump and Betsy DeVos on the phone? I really think that they need to learn about this program. Actually, no, don't do that. Don't call them. They'll probably just go ahead and cut the program. And that, my fellow Hamilton fans, is another episode of US 101. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully you learned another side of what Hamilton gives to the community. In this case, providing a way for kids to get engaged even more in American history in probably one of the coolest ways possible. And as always, guys, you can follow US 101 on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. All those links down below in the description box. And on that note, guys, I am all done. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that if you don't get to see Hamilton, hopefully you get to see the education program in action, because it was really amazing and super inspiring. All those kids, you guys are awesome. Best of luck to you. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.